Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the national anthem. Please be seated. May I now request...
Equally grateful to all the resource persons from various different countries who have come from as far as Europe to participate, to share and to exchange ideas on e-governance in India. Everyone, whether in individual capacity or in the collective capacity, needs a vision that motivates them to put things into proper perspective, focus and achieve greater things. And the Department of IT and C is now having a vision to take care of several important issues challenging the state, especially in terms of employment, entrepreneurship, even poverty alleviation, promotion of higher education and so on. A national or regional progress depends upon how its people think and how its thoughts are transformed into actions. And now it is time for every state to think and allow the young minds to blossom with full confidence to compete with the rest of the country and the world as well in all spheres of human development. It is felt that the young people of Nagaland can be the innovators, creators, builders and leaders of today and the future with the right kind of policies in place. It is also seen that the Indian IT industry and the sector has grown from virtually nothing to an industry which is now winning India much recognition and laurels with so many world-class resource persons coming. I'm sure that the state of Nagaland will join the rest of India to enjoy the fruits of IT industrial revolution. Towards this end, the government of Nagaland is also doing whatever is possible to meet the changes of our time, and some of our efforts are already bearing fruits and recognized, even as recent as the present Northeast Techno Sabha Awards 2018, which was awarded to the state of Nagaland. We are aware that elsewhere in the world, in the 21st century, a new society is emerging where knowledge is the primary resources instead of just capital and labor, and we're trying very hard to modernize the state of Nagaland through IT interventions and ideas. In particular, the Department of Information Technology and Communication is now playing a key role to transform the state of Nagaland into a modern state by way of prioritizing and improving transparency, efficiency and ensuring cost-effective public service delivery to the state and its citizens. The state is now witnessing a paradigm shift in governance and all other spheres of life, and information technology and electronic media is enabling a knowledge-led economy. The world is now looking up to India to drive the global economic growth, and India is looking towards east to open the eastern corridors towards Southeast Asia to promote economic growth. The government of Nagaland is fully aware that it is the right time to take the state to the next level and make the state of Nagaland the next IT hub of Southeast Asia through extensive use of e-governance and ICT-based technology. This is in keeping with the Act East policy of the Government of India as coined by our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi. The state of Nagaland has already brought out its own vision, and some of the important areas in our visions are highlighted below. I would like to state them one by one. Number one, to make Nagaland an information technology hub through setting up a world-class business process outsourcing (BPO), knowledge process outsourcing (KPO) for Northeastern region and Southeast Asia. As you have seen, and you will be seeing, the Prime Minister of India has interacted with our employees of the BPO Kohima. This is just the beginning. A recognition at such level is representative of the stage we are in at the moment. Number two, to provide high bandwidth internet bandwidth to every village panchayat. This is the dream. Number three, to transform Nagaland into a digital society, to harness, encourage, and make transparency and accountability a part of our governance process. To enable, number four, all government departments to have e-office to deliver services promptly to the citizens through online system. Number five, to bring about a comprehensive IT literacy initiative through the state. Number six, to generate direct and indirect employment for at least 1 lakh local youths in IT and e-governance related activities. This will address some of the employment problems that we face. To promote knowledge economy and increase the GDP of the state through the use of information communications technology and IT services. Number 8, to promote electronic financial transactions using virtual bank branches operating from customer activated terminals, smartphones and other electronic accessories. To ensure, number 9, cyber security, information security, prevention of data corruption and fraudulent practices. Number 10, to promote telemedicine, telemarketing and market supply chain through networking for retailers, distributors, warehouses, transporters, manufacturers, material suppliers, etc. Number 11, to ensure digitization of all records and promote use of demographic database for determining age and sex composition, income levels, distribution of resources, regional disparities, incidences of diseases, life expectancy, etc. Number 12, to train various departments, schools, colleges, entrepreneurs and general citizens in IT-related matters for improving their skills to meet the challenges of knowledge economy and promote economic growth. Number 13, to make the state as major software exporter in Southeast Asia region and make Nagaland one of the richest states in the country through that initiative. Number 14, to promote high bandwidth data applications and electronic services to rural areas through common service centers. Number 15, to integrate all government departments on a single platform through enterprise architecture and enable modern electronic systems like e-cabinet, e-legal, e-education, e-mobile classroom, e-hospital, e-dashboard, single window, e-business, e-Naga village, etc. On this point, number 15, the Government of Nagaland through the IT department has already taken many initiatives and has been proactively pursuing to ensure that the enterprise architecture is implemented in the fastest time possible, and for which I am grateful that Mr. Pradhan, Joint Secretary Donor is here. We have already had preliminary discussion and we are going ahead with the proposal. Number 16, to strengthen core infrastructures like state data center, statewide area network, e-district, national information infrastructure, common services center, etc. Number 17, to strengthen networking infrastructure using terrestrial, wireless, aerial, OFC and satellite technologies. Number 18, to enable centralized electronic integrated security system using electronic equipments such as electric field perimeter protection system, microwave coaxial cable system, vehicle identification system, biometric system, electronic scanner system, electronic explosive detection system, electronic jammer system, CCTV surveillance system with centralized command pool, IP-based surveillance system, advanced video analytics system, etc. For many of you, this may be new, but it's already in the process of implementation. There have been trials undertaken in the state as well. Number 19, to bring up a world-class e-governance academy in the state to cater to the needs of northeastern states and Southeast Asian countries. And for which I'm happy to announce that in principle, the NITI Aayog has agreed to sanction the setting up of the world-class e-governance academy in the state, and for which I thank the Honorable Chief Minister Srini Furio for taking the initiative to bring about this wonderful program for the state. Number 20, to encourage research-related works in IT sector for the youth by bringing up a robust research and development facility. So these are the 20 benchmark objectives we have, which we want to achieve within a time frame, some of which process is already on, and hence we are very positive that in a few years' time our proposals will see the light of day and Nagaland will benefit greatly out of those. The main aim of the government of Nagaland is to make the state a major software exporter in Southeast Asian region, and also to make Nagaland one of the richest states in the country by actively engaging the unemployed youth in meaningful IT and e-governance related activities. We are committed to build a strong, sustainable and stable future for our youth, and through IT interventions and wherever required, the government of Nagaland will take strong decisions as long as it is serving the interests of our state. Even as we speak, the entire process is on. We not only dream and aspire for all these things to happen in the state of Nagaland, but this is something which I can proudly say that the IT and C department in Nagaland state has taken many strides and will be continuing proactively, persistently, consistently to ensure that these 20 objectives are achieved within a time frame that we have set for ourselves. With this, I want to welcome all of you once again to the 4th e-Naga Summit of the Government of Nagaland, and I want to ask you to participate, open your minds and be part of this great process that we have started. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Advisor ITNC, for your inspirational speech. We are quite sure that under your leadership, Nagaland, which is often known as the land of festival, will henceforth be known as the land of e-governance as well. Thank you, sir. Now, I request Dr. Arvo Oot, Director, E-Governance Academy of Estonia, to give an address.
Nagaland and Estonia are both small, and I would say also Portugal is small. We have one member from Portugal. So we feel the same family because what we learned here, people are very pragmatic. We try to reach results, and this is mainly not only to talk but have some practical results. Of course, we are looking for better life for our citizens because at the end, for what we are here, like organizing things, at the end it's happy citizens. And of course, better and more efficient government. We are not talking about only efficiency but also transparency, which is obviously very important for cooperation between citizens and government, and also being very transparent just to see what the data and what the processes in the government. And of course, everybody is looking for a better society and more efficient economy. Those things are, I think, very similar with what we see in Nagaland and also in Estonia and Portugal. So at the end, we are for more happy people. We had started our cooperation already around 4 years ago, and this is learning for us, but then very happy that we are making first very concrete steps in our cooperation. And as I heard now also that we are just in a process of signing memorandum to focus on training and awareness building in your society. So on behalf of e-Governance Academy and also on behalf of our group and our delegation, we wish very good and productive conference. Hope to get also a lot of questions from your side, and I'm extremely happy to see so many young people here. So also coming back to Estonia, when we started in 1993, first of most important program for us has been program named Tiger Leap, which was very much focusing on offering e-government and technology trainings for young people. And those young people are also in government in Estonia today and focusing on using the technologies and innovation. So thank you very much for invitation and hope to get good contacts and good questions, but also hope to for you to get new ideas and looking forward for our cooperation. Thank you very much.
Our foreign dignitaries, they are of world class, very rare to get people like them. We have sent a proposal to Niti Aayog, Government of India, for setting up e-Governance Academy of Nagaland. And Niti Aayog had in principle agreed for setting up the e-Governance Academy of Nagaland, which will be more or less in line with the style of e-Governance Academy of Estonia. And for the knowledge sharing portion, the e-Governance Academy of Estonia is willing to come forward. So we have prepared a small memorandum of understanding, which we will be signing now. So I invite Dr. Ho, Director e-Governance Academy of Estonia, to come up and sign the memorandum of understanding. It's a memorandum of understanding between e-Governance Academy of Estonia, a world-class institute, and the e-Governance Academy of Nagaland. We'll be signing the MOU now. E-Governance Academy of Nagaland, which we have signed, is the first of its kind in the country. No other state has yet set up a planned academy of this scale. This e-Governance Academy of Nagaland was fully supported by our Honorable Chief Minister, our Honorable Advisor ITNC, and it's because of them we are able to push through an important visionary project, which we hope will cater to the needs of all the northeastern states, and in due course of time cater to the training needs of neighboring countries like Bhutan, Nepal, Myanmar, Bangladesh, and few underdeveloped countries in Southeast Asian region. Now, I would like to request a highly respected Honorable Governor of Nagaland to give his address.
Director, e-Governance Academy, Estonia. Mrs. Katri Kasta, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Ms. Sara Fernandez, Special Advisor, United Nations University, Portugal. Mr. Chris Keres, Head of Network Connections and Additional Services, LK3V. Mr. S.N. Pradhan, our Joint Secretary, Donor, Government of India. Mr. Dihakar Chakravarti, Blockchain Specialist, Amazon. Mr. Sumit Mukherjee, Business Development Manager, Amazon. Ms. Trinina Jamil, Co-founder, Roots and Leisure. Mr. Tonki Lipa Ramkumar, Director, ITNC. Senior officers from central and state governments. Media persons, dear students, distinguished guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen, once again, good morning. This is the fourth e-governance summit we are having it. And we are very happy, a small country like Estonia, with a population of 13 lakhs only, which is on the zenith of IT education. This is the third time that I am attending such conference. I am extremely happy. A small country can make it a big way. So we as Nagaland people, we can also come to the top if our credibility, if our desire is sincere. This time there is an MOU. All the three conferences, what has happened, I don't know. We have to prove our credibility properly and march ahead. A wonderful imagination, dream has been spelled out by our advisor. I hope this year we make it at least a good beginning. Friends, it is a great pleasure for me to grace the fourth edition of the e-Naga Summit 2018, and I am extremely happy to learn the pioneers in the field of e-governance in the world are here today to enlighten the people of Nagaland on the e-governance models prevailing elsewhere in the world and motivate us to adopt the digital technology wherever it is feasible. The world today is depending on information technology for easier access to information and services. The e-Naga Summit can be the right platform in bringing together experts in the IT field from different countries, industries, central and state governments, officials, and through them. The state can build a knowledge-based society which would ultimately help in providing good governance. Young people can not only be innovators and creators, but can be the leaders of the future if they acquire right kind of skills and equip themselves to take up the opportunities for job and wealth creation. With the right policies in place and through extensive investments in human capital, we can empower young people to drive socio-economic development and increase our capability for wealth creation to the society and the state. It is learned that search for right jobs and a decent livelihood are the biggest motivators. We must invest in skill development of youths in order to realize their full potential and also to make an effort to bring them back to make their state economically strong. During the last century, the world has transformed from agricultural society to industrial society. The management of technology, capital and labor provided competitive advantage. In northeastern states, the industrial and agricultural sectors could not make desired growth on par with the rest of the country. In this 21st century, a new society is emerging where knowledge is the primary source instead of capital and labor. Our great Prime Minister, Honorable Narendra Modi and our University Grants Commission, UGC, have made a uniform formula for youths, all the students, to equip with skill in their studies so that once they come out from the institution, they are not job seekers, but they are job givers. Entrepreneurship is the need of the hour. And our graduates coming out of the universities should be entrepreneurs with a financial banking from the Mudra Bank. Government of India is extending all required help to the IT industry, even to the extent of bringing out a separate digital India policy. The Govt of Nagaland will also be providing all required support to meet the challenges of changing times. Friends, our IT industry, India's IT industry, is playing a major role not only in India but all over the world economic growth. The success of software business in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, etc. are indication of how the economy can grow so fast by employing the latest IT technology, and the time has come for the state of Nagaland to harness the numerous benefits of information technology. Now the state of Nagaland has also to catch up with the advanced other states of our country to transform the state into a knowledge-based society through information technology. With my initiative, since last 2 years, Rajbhavan has been able to introduce 32 schools of Nagaland for the e-learning supported by Govt, a well-known company from Mumbai. I am grateful to the Governance Academy of Estonia for collaboration in this e-Naga summit. Knowledge sharing and learning from the distinguished speakers will help Nagaland to be a model state in e-governance. I am sure this e-Naga summit will spur the young minds towards harnessing knowledge in digital and IT field and take the state to the great heights in the future. I wish the e-Naga Summit 2018 a grand success. Kupnalim, thank you all. Bharat Mata Ki Jai.
As an elderly statesman, when the state is in problem, we always look forward to you, and you are always with us. Now with you solidly behind us in the e-governance and IT initiatives, we are very sure that our dream of making the land of Nagaland a land of e-governance and be a front runner in e-governance will be fulfilled soon.
I would like to extend our gratitude to the Honorable Governor of Nagaland, Sri P.V. Acharya, for being here with us today. Sir, your presence here today is deeply appreciated, and you are a great source of inspiration for us. Special thanks goes to Mr. Monumo Kikon, Honorable Advisor ITNC. Your presence and support for the department is valued, and we hope that through your vision and guidance, the department will scale greater heights. I am also thankful to all the resource persons, both from India and abroad, who are here with us today, and look forward to the sessions ahead. We are also grateful to all the government departments, organizations, and individuals who have come forward to support this 4th edition of the e-Naga Summit.
Start a bit on explaining e-government issues, but I try to be also more broader, just to focus on some of the important issues in setting up effective and transparent government, but also what is their role of political will and related issues. If you can, my slides. Next slide. When to start to talk about technology in government, usually people are thinking much about technology. As it was mentioned also, I was first person in the Estonian government starting from 1993. We felt that technology is something that can help small country and then also being good in economic competition. So usually on political level we are looking very much at efficiency and transparency. And efficiency is not only that to make automatization of existing processes, but also to optimize processes in government, to offer better services for citizens. Transparency is about communication, and also sometimes we call it anti-corruption or something which is not very good in government, but population should be able to communicate and then see those processes and data as well. But at the end we are very much looking of economic competition because especially for small countries you are not able to be in competition with these big countries easily. And in case of Estonia we are looking at possibilities to use our young people and our brains to make next steps in economy, and this was happening during first 10 years. So we are feeling at the moment that Estonia is good in competition and fast development. But at the end, it's important that people like to use technologies. So what sometimes we call e-way of life. If you look young people, especially everybody is using mobile technologies, computers, we all expect that we have good access to the infrastructure and networks. So those three pillars I think is very much common for many countries, but especially important for small countries. Next slide, please. Yes, this is a picture from Estonia. We tried to show something, some differences. When we are coming to Nagaland, it's always warm here. Especially yesterday, we were walking in the mountains. As you see from our faces, we had pretty red. In Estonia, we have this situation. We have snowing, and sometimes we are not able to go to the offices or get some services from the government. And very happy to say that Annel is just explaining and showing also some of the services. I'm not telling too much about government services, but I try to focus on more general policy issues and general management type of things. But this is a good picture also for politicians to understand that people are expecting, doesn't matter if it's bad weather or good weather, people are expecting to get services. And in your case also what we saw that the roads are not the best conditions, and it means that you don't need to travel too much. You can get services from home. In some countries they have many islands and they are not able also to travel, or some weather is bad. So it's a possibility to explain to ordinary people why technology can help a lot. The next slide, if you can please. Next slide, please. Then we are talking about efficiency. People are asking that you put money to the technology and how you get this money back. And it's really a difficult situation because usually we expect that we get the results pretty fast. We calculated in Estonia, if you click one more time. Please skip. Yes, okay. So we calculated in Estonia that when we started to use electronic IDs, and Annela will just tell you that electronic identification of people, today we save approximately 2% of GDP annually. It means that if you use technologies, you can have this efficiency also in society. 2% of GDP in Estonia is a military budget. So it means that it's a really huge amount of money. Next slide, please. How this calculation is made, probably you don't see it, but later on you can get also slides. If it's, we deliver some slides in electronic format, so you can see it. So the calculation was made, for example, to establish company in Estonia. In those days, it took 500 minutes. Today is half an hour. So 30 minutes. It means that we can make very fastly some of the services online. Or to declare taxes, it takes 10 minutes, not like 7 to 8 minutes as was previously. You don't need to travel somewhere. So it's a save of time. And when you calculate how much you save time, you can calculate also how much money you can save. So it's pretty important, especially also in government level, when we are discussing those topics. It's becoming efficient. Government, but also society. Next slide, please. Now, when I start to talk about e-governance, we have to think about electronic services and electronic government, it's called usually, and also electronic democracy, so electronic participation. I have a few examples from both, and just to illustrate those things. But it's always balanced not only on service side, but also some transparency and participation on democracy side. So you can use technology to engage more people in decision-making processes. And it's very important, especially for small countries also. And what we learned here is that we have some tries, or you have some groups of people who are a little bit maybe communicating inside, and it's a possibility to integrate all those different components into like discussions and into governance. Next slide, please. Now, one example from electronic services side. We have this type of service called parental benefit. So by the law in Estonia, we can get paid after delivery of child. Mothers can get paid usually 1.5 years. So it's motivating people to get bigger families. In Estonia, it's a problem that we have very small families. But why I'm showing it, it's we are doing it electronic way, not so heavily, but adaptation for the families, and it means that you have to integrate 5 different systems. Next slide, please. Next slide. Yes, please. Next. Okay, and for that you need to integrate different IT systems, technologies. So it seems that the complexity usually in government is not about technology so much, but much more about agreement between different institutions. Next slide. Now, I'm showing this picture about explaining tax declarations online. So I don't know exactly how tax declarations are made in Nagaland, but in case of Estonia, you have to present a lot of papers to government, and people are not very happy just to wait in queues and present those papers. In Estonia, we started from 2000 to make these tax declarations online, and it takes now a few minutes. What is the motivation for people is to get some money back from government, and of course, maybe not all the people are happy to pay taxes, but if it's very easy to do it, then people start to do it more easily, and they are happy. But I'm showing this picture because to say that it's not immediate people start to use technologies. It takes time. In our case, it took 4 or 5 years before we had all the technology in place. So my message is that we should start very fast, but we can't expect immediately after 1 year some very good or broad impact. So it means that you should be patient. Next slide, please. Next slide is about internet voting or electronic participation or electronic democracy. In case of Estonia, a lot of people are traveling. Sometimes, as you saw, bad weather. And young people doesn't like to go to some offices to make voting. So next slide please. We are using internet voting, using internet for elections and voting already from 2005. And last year we got approximately 32% of votes electronically, but against the same picture. It means that people trust building takes time. So people are not immediately starting to use technology. It may take more time. So the message is that in the political level also that you can't expect immediately all the results. But stability is important. And to start new projects and new services, it can take time. Next picture. Now, I'm more specialist on electronic government, but I try to explain something what we learned in Estonia. And we have to, when we are looking at electronic government and the information society, we can't think only about technology. We have to think about organization and processes, how government is organized, how the processes of governments are organized. We have to think about the legal framework or legislation, because lawyers are saying that you can't do any services before we write law for them. And technology people are saying that we don't know what to regulate. So it's a challenge sometimes. Next, we have to think about finances, because every time you do something, you need also money. And also money sometimes to motivate people to start new technologies. What is also an important message from our side is that government can save a lot of money when people are starting to use more technologies. But the framework and the architecture should be in place. And of course, then we have to think about technology, and cross-cutting is type of e-government policy is like broader conceptual decisions on basic building laws and basic topics. Now, our experience from Estonia was, and what we are learning also in many other countries, we are working with today almost in 90 countries. What we learned, technology is not the main problem, and money is not the main problem. If you have good ideas, you usually can get some money from donors or from banks or somewhere. But the problems in government are almost all the examples from countries. The problems are in cooperation between government institutions and organizing social government developments. Together is also an issue. So my message here is also that if government want to reach fast the e-government, is very much to do with government itself, organizing processes and cooperation. This takes time. I have one example from Pakistan we are working. We were already almost 7 years or 8 years working and training 3 times staff of the government. And every time new government is coming, they clean the place, new people are coming, and then they have to start to learn again. So it's stability is important. Next slide, please. No, next slide, please. So when we just talk about policy, we are looking at as concerned citizens' orientation. It means that in the center of this picture is a person, not government. We have very good conceptual concept in the European Union. It's called once only. It means that if you give your data to government is not asking the same data again, because they have it already. They have it in database somewhere. Government should reuse data what they have. Second, maybe important aspect is leading role of private sector, because always you have private sector who might be active part of our government. We expect usually that private sector also partnering with is a government in development technology. Efficiency and transparency in public sector is clear, but all those bigger policy documents are focusing also obviously on efficiency and transparency. Protection of privacy, and this seems to be also challenging sometimes because people are afraid that government is misusing their data. There are different concepts about privacy protection and also some technologies like blockchain and very new terminology and some new technologies, but I will not stop on that, but privacy protection is important. In case of Estonia, we believe that if people see your own data and if people can know that how others are using your data, then you can monitor your privacy by yourself. Now, next, and we have already discussing here that somehow it's important to protect also culture and language, because no one else is putting your own language and information about culture to the internet. We had the debates in the Estonian government. Some people were saying that no, it's, everybody knows English, it's enough. We believe that there should be something very national. People for communities, it's very important that you see your own language and your own cultures, and you have already your festivals presented. So this is like one of the pillars of strategies and policies. Now next maybe is about protection, or it's called avoiding digital divide. Digital divide basically means that information society and electronic government is for all, not only for rich people or for some groups. So in our case we had programs about offering or connecting all the regions via fast internet, and I understand that it's ongoing project in Nagaland, because people can use technology in very different ways, and it's not always the government is offering services, but of course private sector, and information is important. So it's to avoid the divide population in different groups. In Estonian case, we started to issue Estonian ID cards, and we had discussion if we have two types of cards or one. And then we decided that everybody have a digital ID card, which gives possibility for everybody who want to use the technology and digital. And maybe last fitting into this picture is about neutrality. We try to keep neutrality about technologies, keep neutrality about companies we are cooperating, and keep neutrality about decisions to be made in government side to make competition. Okay, this is like some of the main pillars. Next slide, please. This is model what we are not talking. It's not. It's like in right-hand side you see citizens, and left-hand side you see government. If government is asking every time to offer new services, new paper from a citizen, it's not very citizen-centric. Next slide. This is like sometimes called one-stop shop. This model is pretty broadly working in many countries, and it means that if you go to get some service in a service center, the center have all the information for office of service. We have also some cooperation with EFS Global, which is very much based on India, and they told that they are having citizen centers in different places to offer visas. So it means that you don't need to carry all the papers and travel long distances to get service. Next slide, please. And this is model what in Estonia we are using. We believe that people can access services by themselves from the computer using a portal, and then the government back office is integrated. So it means for us that it's a citizen-centric. Next slide. Now, difficult to see from this slide, but when we are working in different countries, we are looking how government is organized to implement and plan electronic government. And it's a main challenge for most of the countries. Quite often the ministries are working vertically, but e-government is very much horizontal. How this horizontal cooperation can be organized? And in government, people who are working in government know that to motivate all the ministries to do the same things, it's pretty difficult sometimes. I don't know how it's in Nagaland, but in case of Estonia, we have a government, 3 parties, and parties from different ministers from different parties, and they have of course they have cooperation, but they have also some differences. So to motivate all the ministers to do a similar thing, that seems to be challenging. Next slide. I'm not stopping here because you can see it also, but what I want to explain that there are always 2 levels. One level is about cooperation and coordination, what is my role in Estonia, how to cooperate with all the ministries. And this is about knowing what you have already and planning activities. And second level is, next slide. Second level is about implementation. And in implementation phase, we are talking very much about infrastructure, which is one of the main topics of this conference. But we are talking about portals, we are talking about the electronic identification of persons, we are talking about mobile payments and mobile access. We're also talking about cloud computing or new technologies. There are many issues which government can centralize and make it more efficient. So those 2 issues are quite often mainly the challenge for most of the countries. So when we are working also, we are trying to focus on some of the building blocks and finding out what might be the challenges. Next. Okay, I'm not stopping also on legal framework, but it seems to be one of the complexity. Because to pass a law in the parliament, it takes usually some time. But technology, we are hurrying in implementing some of those things. So we believe that you should not regulate technology, but we are regulating people and responsibilities and rights. And next is to regulate as minimum as possible. So it's like a special topic for lawyers, but we're just happy if your lawyers are cooperating, especially on the training process as well, because it's important that lawyers understand also technology, and both sides. Technology should understand also technology, should understand the law. Next. Now we look at this big picture of electronic government. We usually talk about front office and back office. Front office is a place where people can access and get service, or businesses are getting service. Back offices are different registers and databases. I would say maybe one of the challenges here is also that some of those databases are not in Nagaland but somewhere else. So you have to cooperate with different technology components which are maybe out from Nagaland. But in practice there are 3 main issues. One is population data management, birth registration, death registration, issuing passports, offering social services, etc. Second big pillar is business sector management, business data management, business registration, business numbering, those things. And third is real estate. Real estate is different kinds of different way, but ownership of data or land or about land or houses, this seems to be one of the challenges as well. So 3 main pillars in back office. Then now when it was mentioned from Mr. Viso that we are looking at cooperation also on the secure data exchange. So it seems to be one of the possibilities to move faster in cooperation between different government institutions. And of course, at the end, we are looking for good services. Next. Now, this is a picture about secure data exchange, and this is what we know very well in Estonia, and we are cooperating at the moment with approximately 10 countries and some other institutions in Estonia also continuing or cooperating with other countries. So the similar architecture is working in Finland. We are working together with many countries. So we hope that we are going to the next very concrete steps to implement some similar architectures which are we learned how those can be done, and we know that we can train people relatively fast to understand all the details of this technology. Next slide. And maybe also lastly, this list of slides about technology, what is also important to understand that when you are implementing electronic government, in some years it's becoming very complex. This is a picture after more than 10 years of implementation of technologies and interoperability architectures in Estonia. So it means that if you are not correctly recording every step what you are doing, you are getting in a forest that you can get lost. And this is something that we are cooperating also in several countries. Next slide, please. Now, maybe final few slides about motivation of people. When what we learned that it's important to find out some symbols in society, which is also valuable for electronic government and electronic society. This is our project in Faroe Island. Faroe Island is very, very small, something 40,000 people living out here. They are implementing this picture of technology, but we are just, or actually Estonian architects. We don't care that people are saying that this is Estonian. We say that it's yours. And in Faroe Island, it's called Eldin is old tool to carry hay. And people and politicians are saying that it's like joining together all government. So it means that it's easy to communicate with citizens. Next slide. In Kyrgyzstan, the e-government architecture is called Tunduk. Tunduk is a part of a yurta, or part of house. And every people in Kyrgyzstan understand that you can't build a house without Tunduk, without this kind of one top of this house. And so again, now Prime Minister is asking once a month from all the ministers how you will implement this house or build this Tunduk. Maybe next slide. This is the next symbol which is from Ukraine. In Ukraine, e-government architecture is called trembita. Trembita is a music instrument to call people together to just discuss different things. And next slide is, this is a picture from Greenland. And the Greenland people told that e-government architecture in Greenland is called P2. P2 is tool to join together all the dogs to run. Because they have snow all the time there. Everybody understands that it's important to join together something to get good services. And then ministries in Greenland say that we are like dogs driving a better life for citizens. It's a little bit joking, but it's very easy to understand for ordinary people in Nagaland or in Greenland that there are something which should be done together. And with this message I would say that let's start as fast as possible. Let's join together all the players in electronic government and society, and let's reach results. And for Nagaland, you have to find your own symbol, I believe, to explain to people that, okay, e-government something is valuable, not only for government, but for people and for society. And this is strong political message usually used also by politicians and explaining why we try to do something in technology to be more efficient, more transparent, and offer better life for citizens. Thank you. It was some messages from my side. We also plan to have some questions.
What I would like to know is, what are the major challenges towards adoption of effective governance in a state, especially like Nagaland?
I believe the challenges are pretty the same like in other countries. Of course, maybe additional challenge might be the infrastructure, because internet services for people. But regarding electronic government side, I think that it's one important thing is stability, but also competences. What is one of the aims of joining trying to do together in government secretary type of trainings.
May I have a question, please, sir?
Yeah.
Myself, Hemant Kumar Santia. I am Senior Technical Director and Head of NIC, National Informatics Centre, Govt of Nagaland. It's very good to listen from you that you have been speaking about lot of policies, principles that you have been implementing in your country, which is very small compared to our country where population size is 130 crores, I mean 1.3 billion, and the population of Nagaland is around 20 lakhs. So we have diversity of education, normal education, diversity of technical divide, culture, language. It's very difficult. Even then, Government of India has set up a lot of IT policies since 2000 onward. And recently we are going to have privacy policy also. In a country like Estonia, it may be very easy to enforce the policies, principles, acts, and I would like to know what is your success rate in implementing the policies, privacy, security, all these things, and what is your suggestion to our country or to the state of Nagaland to enforce them practically?
One thing is that actually Nagaland is, and Estonia is in the sense of population pretty similar. We have also experience from very small countries where the technologies are much more centralized. In practice there are maybe two bigger models or well-known models. One is the Estonian model is very much decentralized, and Singapore model which is much more, or actually very much centralized. I believe that the Estonian model is fitting a little bit better for Nagaland because we have also many ministries and many institutions who are just doing their own things. And you asked also about policy implementation. For me, policy is some agreement between different players, and this agreement should be reached by the players. We are having example from the countries that have excellent policies but nothing happened. And then we have countries, they never have excellent policies but many things are happening. So policies reflecting what is going on. And so in those cases I believe that like a main challenge maybe here might be that capacity building back office systems. But I don't believe that the main challenge is in really technology. But maybe in infrastructure, but not like integration by different technologies. So in this sense, I think that in general the model which is running in Estonia and in many countries is fitting here pretty well. Challenges might be coming from a bit of culture or cooperation in government or some other aspects.
Madam Sarah Fernandez. She represented the United Nations University. United Nations means it includes all of us. So we are very lucky to have support of Estonia, support of United Nations, and they're here to encourage, help us to reach the new level in e-governance.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. Honorable Governor, thank you so much for taking time in your strict agenda to be here and listening to us. I arrived here on the 28th of November, and actually it happened to be my birthday. So I would like very much to thank the Commissioner Viso and also the e-Governance Academy of Estonia for giving me such a special birthday present and to be in this incredible country and in this beautiful place of Nagaland. Thank you so much. So I'm going to talk a little bit on policy-driven electronic governance, and also I'm going to mention a little bit of the Portuguese experience that we have been experienced in Portugal. To arrive here in Nagaland, it took me 41 hours. And I come from a city in the north of Portugal that is hosting a UNU unit since May 2014. Our mission is to carry out policy-relevant research, but also to translate the research findings into relevant policy instruments and to build capacity and maintain research and policy networks. So when we talk about policy, we are talking, or when we are talking about governments, we are talking about normally the physical government of providing public services and infrastructures, formulating and maintaining public policies, and maintaining social order and security. But now we are experiencing a different situation. We have to also consider this digital space. When we talk about digital space, we also have to talk about its impact in terms of policy. It can actually be positive or negative. On the positive side, we have, for example, the number of mobile accounts that nowadays surpasses the first time the number of humans on the planet. Digital natives make 30% of the youth population, and it's actually such a big pleasure to see you all and see so many young faces in front of me attending this summit. For example, Facebook has 1.3 billion active users, which is more or less the size of India. So they can shut down the rest of the world and focus on India to have the number of users. Or YouTube, that has more than 1 billion users. But on the negative side, we are also creating something new. Something, for example, the e-waste, that represents 2% of trash in landfills, but 30% of the overall toxic waste. Less than 1 in 4 young citizens are voting, and many will never will. 90% of the rest lives in the developing world, and 1 in 10 social media users fall victims of scam or fake links. So no government can leave the digital space unattended or ungoverned. This is why we talk about digital government. Governments are increasingly adopting the latest in mobile, in cloud, in social media, in virtual world, and etc. And they are doing this because they need to establish their presence and authority in the digital world and to improve their internal operations and impact in the physical world, in transforming themselves in the process into the digital government. There are some goals on the digital government evolution that are focused on. One of the goals, and depending on the context, either it is technological, organizational, socio-economic, or context-specific. And one of the goals, the technological terms, context, increasing the quality and efficiency of internal government operations. A second one, that is more organizational, is delivering better public service across traditional and electronic channels, or facilitating administrative and institutional reforms in government. On the social-economic context, engaging citizens and non-state actors in policy and decision-making processes. And finally, on context-specific context, supporting policy and development goals in specific sectors. We already heard on education, on health, and many others, and locations. Now, there has been an evolution for each stage. On the technology in government, it was the evolution was from establishing government portals and providing online access to public services. On the electronic government stage, re-engineering administrative process and enabling collaboration between government agencies. This is quite important because when we are rethinking our governments, let's imagine an airplane flying and you need to re-engineer the entire system. It's more or less the same. And electronic governance, in utilizing media to engage, social media to engage citizens in government decision-making, making government data available for business to build public services. On stage 4, the policy-driven electronic governance, that is something that United Nations University is focused on. Our name is actually policy-driven electronic governance. The main goal was from improving relationship between governments and its constituencies, and to improve conditions of those constituencies to develop themselves. In terms of context, we focus on specific application context. We focus on location, either if it's a national, state, or local context, and in sectors, for example, health, education, or economy. And we also have a specialization, tailored response to each context, choice of locally relevant and or sector-specific goals, locally acceptable and sectorially feasible ways of pursuing such goals, and managing the impact of meeting such goals on the context. And there are quite relevant examples on how this works. Building self-governance capabilities, mainstreaming the use of assistive technologies, or partnering between national and local authorities. So this brings us to the characterization of the different stages. And the characterizations include transformation of government, if it happens or not, if it includes non-state actors, or if it's location and specific and sector specific. And there is quite interesting evidence of this digital government evolution. I would like to point out just 2 examples. Of course, I had to talk about Estonia. For example, one service space, public, private, and third sectors, paperless document management, traceability of the use of one's own data, and internet in rural areas. For example, Singapore, that was also mentioned here, the next generation of Infocom infrastructure, innovation centers and entrepreneurship, Infocom competency framework, or electronic health records. But what I would like to mention here also, slide please, is the Portuguese experience and how citizens and government can work together. We know that citizens are the key ingredient of every state, every country, or every city. The smart citizens that live in those places. I found that in the last 2 years, there has been an explosion of new activity and experiments that we'll talk today. A lot of misunderstanding, a lot of concern and fear about how to effectively engage with the public in solving problems in new ways. So, I'm also here today to talk a little bit about a common theme, something that we will still have to work on. That is, how can we make our institutions more effective? Now, Commissioner Viso already put me in bed sheets with the politicians when I said that they don't learn. I hope I'm not 100% sure on that. The most effective countries, states, cities, municipalities at all levels, where things work better than they do perhaps elsewhere, they may not work as well as they should do. Our institutions are not as effective, they are not as agile, as they could be in taking advantage of solutions, the technology that science, big data provide us to solve new problems. Governments are not perceived as enabler, not as a catalyzer of innovation, but in fact, in many times, as an impediment. It has a real image problem. People want governments to do more, to do better, to deliver better services, to enable better and more resilient communities. And even when budgets are declining and decreasing, we have phenomenal challenges that we are struggling with, and which countries or states, not just cities, are being asked to tackle, specifically around climate change. And I will talk a little bit about this on my presentation in the afternoon. And yet we don't have a way, we don't have effective mechanisms. We need not simply to tap into the opinion of citizens, but also citizen expertise, what the public knows and do, and to engage with people more than just at the polling votes. We tend to find democracy and to think that it is good simply to encourage people to vote, and I would put that we can do better, that we can reimagine and reinvent our process on top of voting, that we must strengthen, and above all, on top of plebiscites that are available to us. We need, in no time urgently today, to take advantages and listen to our own communities, the opinions people have, the values that they hold, the expertise, the know-how and experience that they share, and to use that to reinvent and reimagine how we govern. Slide, please. To think about governing government not as a one-way process from elites top-down, but as a two-way conversation that happens between institutions and its citizens to solve problems. We've typically, as we know about open government or government innovation, focus on what I would say the easiest thing to do. And it's not that easy, that is transparency. We still have a long way to go, but we all understand the value of more evidence-based decision-making. Know that data can help us to be more effective in analyzing the way we deliver services, doing a better job in doing so in the future. But transparency, I'm sad to say, is not enough, and in many cases, as many people may argue, it may be counterproductive. Now, I am not talking about sensors that allow us to know how the traffic is moving. I am talking about transparency that often causes partisanship and politics to become more intense, to become more exaggerated, but potentiate the ways we make law and policy to become more effective, again, at the national level where there are significant problems. We know that trust in politics could not be any lower than it is today. And that is very much because lawmaking is not of the quality it needs to be. Laws are created, do not achieve their intended purpose. And putting aside that if we are right-wing or left-wing, the substance of those laws and of those politics are very poor. I will argue that we can do our policies and laws more effective. That is the solution, better tailored to solve the problems we are facing. And the question we have to ask ourselves, the work we have to do in the coming year, is look how civic and public engagement might help us to improve the quality of how we make laws and policies. So I would like to leave you today with 10 key recommendations. If we are going to design for citizen engagement, we have to design not simply for citizens, but also for institutions. We have to do a great job at building civic technology, but that is user-friendly and designed for public to know how to engage. But what we lack is the work and investment mapping and understanding the institutions, how a country or a state need and use information, and can we better manage those processes to one another. Slide please. It is only going to lead to positive outcome if we design for both clients, individuals and institutions. Slide please. But we also need to know the goal, if we need to design and to achieve the desired goal. Now, if our goal is to measure changes in public opinion, then the deliberative polling is right. If our goal is to build legitimacy, we may want a citizen jury. But if our goal is, however, to get the best facts, the best statistics, or the best examples of people's experiences in their own communities to end of developing a functional and implementable policy service, we may in fact need a different design and a different process. So it is important to have in mind what is our goal. And above all, we need to know how and who is going to manage the process. Now, I would like to give you an example because I was working with that, and I'm making my mea culpa here. In 2008, President Barack Obama was elected, and I was working with Beth Novak, that was responsible for the open government initiatives in Obama's government. And we decided that we had to ask citizens what should be his first initiatives on his 100 days in cabinet. So we set up a very nice portal. People were sending their ideas, and we received more than 80,000 proposals. Have you an idea of how many of those ideas we used? By showing hands, does anybody know? No? 0. You know why? Anybody? Because we forgot that we need somebody to read those ideas. A small detail. So we can often open the floodgates for participation, but there better be someone who is listening and is taking advantage of what information and the inputs, and that seriously use it. Otherwise, it will only just lead to frustration and depressed participation rather than encouragement. That means that we have to plan, not only to encourage people to participate, but how we are going to use what people are giving to us. Focusing on initiatives in any platform is crucial, and that is what makes people to participate. But why people participate? Well, first of all, people will participate if they see that participation is being used and is relevant. So again, I would not encourage civic engagement if we are not going to use it, if we are not going to see that it leads to better outcomes. Always, but not always in practice, the need to explain how to participate and why and how one's information will be used, and that can be very often mean clear about how we protect and respect people's privacy. Finally, we need obviously diversified communities to engage, so we don't take the risk to exclude anybody that cannot participate online, or do things only offline, or exclude people that can only do things with the convenience of online platform. We need to test what works. Slide please. What I'm putting you today, despite despite the fact that we have dozens of examples of engagements using new technology, still feels all very experimental. We have to try things and we have to actually measure what works. This means that we need to legislate, the need to practice engagement, but also the need to legislate, the need to measure what works and actually to evaluate. And I would like to say that, for example, problem, whatever we do should take into account the fact that it presents the most important opportunity we have to engage with people up and down the pyramid and up and down the economic ladder. We have to take seriously the expertise people have in every walk of life, in every place they live, and to use technology to make the opportunity to hear from people in a manageable and easy way. What we have here and what we are living, it's what social scientists call an experiment in the wild, something that we have to try while we are doing it. There are several questions that we have to do, and some answers are that civic engagement is not the answer. It does not work at every stage, in every place and every process. But if we ask ourselves what the benefits could be used, it may pleasantly surprise ourselves that the fact that engagement of individuals and groups with the collective intelligence of our communities for sure improve the outcomes of how we make law, how we make policies, and how we govern. So we need to be moving into the future. This is the new way. I will talk about this later on today. So I would like to show you how civic engagement is being used, for example, in a country like Portugal, where I come from. Slide, please. Very recently, we have established, actually in 2017, that is actually very recent, we have established a national participatory budget. It is a democratic, direct and universal process that allows civil society to decide on public investments in different government areas. So we started this in 2017 with a small budget of 3 million euros, and for 2018 we received so many proposals that we are increasing the budget for 5 million euros. The participatory budget is deliberative. It is a democratic, direct and universal process through which the citizens will have the opportunity to propose projects and ideas in a complete collaborative and participative way, effectively contributing to real social impact. Now, this year we had a strange situation because in Portugal we have a tradition of bullfighting. This means that bulls are actually killed in an arena. And it turned out that the two projects that were selected was one against bullfighting and the other in favor of bullfighting. So we know we have a very big problem in hands to solve. Are we pro or against bullfighting? So another experience that we have on how citizens engage with public services, it is the recent digital mobile key. It allows authentication by connecting a mobile number to the national ID number, or in case of foreigners, to his passport, and allows digital signature of documents, which is very handy when, for example, we are abroad and need to sign documents. Since 2017 also, we are lucky, I guess, enough to be part of the Open Government Partnership. It is established more than 5 years ago, has grown from 8 founding governments to nearly 70. Each Open Government Partnership government partners with civil society to promote transparency, empower citizens, fight corruption, and harness new technology to improve governance. It has become a global movement of reformers working to make their governments more effective and responsive to citizens. At the heart of each country's participation is a national action plan developed in collaboration with civil society, and contains specific commitments to enhance transparency, accountability, and public participation in governments. But very recently, Portugal changes the way that they were presented their public service to citizens. So they started by creating life cycle events. So now we have implemented 7 life cycle events. So you're going to a citizen shop that comprises all public services, and you can simply ask, I lost my job, so I need to find a job, or I want to start a business, or I'm going to study abroad. So what they have is that once you have this life cycle event, something that affects people's life, it's in our daily basis, they immediately will give you a list of all the documents and all the materials that you need to, for example, go study in Nagaland. And finally, to close up this long session, I would like to talk a little bit about the D9. That is the Digital 9. That is a network of leading digital governments. Portugal entered the D9 2 weeks ago, and they were actually proposed by the government of Estonia and New Zealand. And the goal is to strengthen the digital economy. Members are bound by the principle of openness, focus on changing government's relationship with technology by adopting open standards and open software, as well as making digital government more effective. Bring digital skills in-house and encourage short-term contracts with small and medium business suppliers. And last but not least, the members, the D9, are Estonia, Israel, New Zealand, South Korea, and so many others, and of course, Portugal. So, thank you so much for your patience and for listening to me. And I hope you have a lot of questions. Thank you.
Well, the agenda in front of me is the initiatives of the Indian government in promoting IT, especially with a focus on Northeast. And I understand that the context it comes from is that e-Naga, the very name of this summit, is testimony of the fact that we would like to bring digital governance and digital processes into
Nagaland in a big way. Already the IT Secretary has talked about the e-Governance Academy, which I had the occasion and privilege to visit, and where Anela was a brilliant host to all of us. And we had, apart from having a very good time, we also could get a lot of learning that the Commissioner and IT Secretary has talked about that could be replicated across Nagaland, across Northeast, and across India. Now, you will be happy to know that His Excellency talked about the Digital India. You'll be happy to know that on the 11th of August this year, 2018, in Guwahati, with proactive help from and facilitation from the Ministry of Development of Northeast, which I represent. Apart from representing the Government of India here, I'm representing the Ministry of Development of Northeast, donor as it is known as. Donor and Mighty, the Ministry of IT in the Government of India, collaborated to launch what is called the Digital Northeast Vision 2022. Digital Northeast Vision 2022. And that was, I think, a statement of intent which was very clear and very unequivocal that Northeast will not miss out on the digital thrust that the government is very well piloting, right from whether it is digitization of citizen identities, whether it's digitization of banks, whether it's digitization of all government services and processes. In the Digital Northeast Vision, there are 8 thrust areas that I'd like to just flag so that we can identify and then relate with the Government of Nagaland's efforts. The first area is digital infrastructure. I'll come back to those quickly in context of Nagaland. Number 2 is digital services to the citizen. Number 3 is digital empowerment. Number 4 is promotion of electronic manufacturing. Number 5 is promotion of IT and IT-enabled services. Number 6 is digital payments. 7 is innovation and startups. And 8, very important, is cyber security. Now, within this ecosystem of 8 thrust areas, there is a will and there is a desire to bring up Northeast into the digital India platform and beyond. It's actually a digital world platform where Northeast can play a critical role, because sometimes those states which start up little late can implement better and implement faster. That is the beauty of digital technology, because you learn from the mistakes of others and implement faster. The donor ministry is a very interesting ministry. The young minds that are here must know that it is the only ministry in the Government of India which has a geographical mandate, meaning it has a mandate only for the development of 8 states. No other ministry exists in the Government of India which has a geographical mandate. Within the donor ministry, there is an autonomous body in which the governors and the chief ministers are the members of the council. Sir is a member of that council, which is called the Northeast Council. Northeast Council is actually predating the donor ministry, and it is a very fundamental fulcrum of governance in Northeast. You could say that the Government of India in the Northeast in situ is the Northeast Council, or the donor ministry's extension in many ways, apart from implementation. And policy making is also done at the Northeast Council level. The Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi, when he addressed the plenary in 2016, in May 2016, he said the Northeast Council should become a state-of-the-art resource center and a fulcrum of innovation and startups. State-of-the-art resource center and fulcrum of innovation and startups. It fits very well into the philosophy of spreading the digital India, digital Northeast mantra all across the Northeast and the 8 states of Northeast, including Nagaland. The advisor IT reminded me that there is this desire from the Nagaland side, Nagaland government side, for enterprise architecture on the lines of the X-road architecture that exists in Estonia. Now, as we all know, and I have been to Estonia and I have seen it for myself, even if it is, one gentleman asked that it is a small country, so can it be replicable? Very interestingly, the beauty of IT is it is scalable. And if it is scalable, it can be replicated at any level once the architecture and the fundamentals are correct. But the beauty of implementing X-road in Nagaland is it is almost similar to Estonia. As I was said, that 13 lakhs population in Estonia and about 19 to 20 lakhs in Nagaland. So the similarities are very, very uncanny. Having said that, the enterprise architecture and the implementation of that, let me also tell you and tell everybody on the stage here that the Northeast Council in 1718 and 1819 onwards has been mandated certain sectors which have been clearly mandated. These are the sectors which you must take up. Very appropriately, ICT, Information and Communication Technology, is now with the Northeast Council. It is very topical and contextual because the demand that Nagaland wants to be fulfilled is very much in line with the mandate that has been given to the Northeast Council. Let me finally leave you with this very good news that over the next 4 years, that is till 2022, on Digital Northeast, 10,000 crores are going to be spent as resources, and 400 above projects are going to be taken up. So I'm sure out of these projects, many will be in Nagaland, many startups will be in Nagaland, and young people like you should believe that you can take a startup and take it to the fruition and make it a success. So thank you very much, and thank you everybody, and thank you for Nagaland for hosting us. Thank you so much.
No head of state spend this much time on an occasion like this. We are extremely grateful to him. Before going, he would like to say a few words. But before that, let us show our mandate to our highly respected Honorable Governor. I'll ask you a question. If you say yes, please raise your hand. Do you think Nagaland can be the next IT hub of Southeast Asia? If yes, please raise your hand. Honorable Governor, sir, the youths are with you in our journey for change.
Friends, I have got two announcements. Tomorrow is 1st December, and it is a very happy day for the Nagas. It is the statehood day. So greetings for all of you to be strong nation, strong state with IT knowledge. Our resource persons and those people who have come from outside Nagaland, I am giving a personal invitation on 2nd. Tomorrow also we have the Festival of Festivals, Hornbill Festival, which will be inaugurated by our Home Minister, Honorable Rajnath Singh. In the program, all of you are invited. Day after tomorrow, we have a wonderful organization which gives a beautiful performance in Rajbhavan. So I'm inviting all of the people from Estonia and guests who have come over here to attend the function in the evening on the 2nd. Of all the things, I value the participation of Mr. Pradhan of our donor ministry. Our youths are our strength. We are the youngest nation in the world. 68% of our 125 crore population. India has the potentiality to become a great, economically strong nation. For this, it's more important that I request our donor ministry to grant us enterprise architecture project to Nagaland so that we can be the nodal agency for all the 8 states. Donor stands for Development of Northeast Region. I would say Northeast can be spelled out in one word, Namaste. In Namaste, there is N and E is there, Northeast. Apart from that, Namaste stands for every state's first word. N for Nagaland. Namaste spelling is N-A-M-A-S-T-E. N for Nagaland. A for Arunachal. M for Meghalaya, Manipur and Mizoram. Another A for Assam. S for Sikkim. T for Tripura. E for East. So Namaste ke or se aapko namaskar, all the 8 states. So I request Mr. Pradhan to be kind enough to consider the proposal to strengthen Nagaland, to give the project, and so that Nagaland can march ahead in tune with the other states. Thank you very much.